Hello everyone, we are back with the Cushman today because we are gonna get some of the wiring sorted out. I did go ahead and get a new solenoid because the old one I think was the wrong type. The one that was on there that was really loose anyway was a continuous duty solenoid, and this does not need a continuous duty. So I bought a new one. I'll show you the part number in a second, and let's see if we can get this starter wiring sorted out so we can try to start it with the key. All right, got John Deere helping us out again today for 12 volts. And yes, I know the battery's over there. I'm checking stuff on here, but I'm mainly doing wire tracing. And I have my power probe set up. Where's the other end? Here it is. I have my power probe set up to go into the other wire for ground. So I'll be able to tell what wires are what. So let's, oh yeah. Thanks to my dad, I had a exact replacement key cylinder for this thing. So I have a key, and actually plugged up perfectly. And the key, I don't know if you can see that, key actually says Briggs & Stratton on it, so that's kind of funny. But I have two keys, that's good. Let's get the GoPro set up on my homemade camera mount, and let's go to town on the wiring. Here are the wires that I'm assuming goes to the solenoid because they're the only thing that it can connect to over here. This would be for the main power, and yeah, this actually, I'm not positive, but I know this is this one would have to be for the main power. I'm getting a wiring diagram. I should have it sometime today. I'd imagine the red would be ignition, and this blue would have to be the starter solenoid, or the starter yeah, starter solenoid switch, whatever. So I'm gonna cut these ends off because they're not really good for holding anything anymore because they're just way too big. And I'm gonna use eyelets down here to actually hook up. So it's not really gonna matter which end I connect this power to, this main power, because they're the way solenoids work. It's just not gonna matter. So I'm gonna have the bottom going for the main power, and this bottom will go to the main. Will go straight back to the battery, and I'm gonna have the starter. It is, the starter wire is right here. I will have it connected to right here. I may have to shave this eyelet a little bit, but I'm gonna have this one going right here. Oh yeah, I picked up a new battery wire. The length should be perfect. Actually, let me make sure this fits. Yeah, let me I gotta shave this down too a little bit. So let me get these cables shaved down, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I got them shaved and they fit perfectly. So let's get this on. Okay, now I need to figure out, make sure which one of these is ignition and which one of them is solenoid. All right, now that we've confirmed it, the blue wire is solenoid and the red is ignition. So let's get some new terminals on here and hook them up. you do a lot of wiring, get yourself a Zippo and get you one of these butane inserts. I got the dual torch, can't really see it on camera, but the dual torch is so freaking nice for shrinking these heat shrink terminals. This connector right here, I want to make sure it's plugged up all the way, but first let me put some dielectric grease on it to help lubricate it a little bit. All right, there we go. Now let's hook up the jumper cables to battery and I'm assuming chassis ground, but we'll find out in a second. All right, two things. One, apparently the red wire needed to be on solenoid and the other one on ignition. And the motor did not have good ground to the chassis, and I was grabbing ground from the chassis. So apparently ground does go to the chassis, so whenever I hook up the battery, I will be hooking up the battery directly to the frame. And I will need to run a grounding strap from the motor to the chassis to make sure I have good ground everywhere. But I ran the ground from the bracket up here down here and checked it, everything's good. I have connection, and working with the key, I have power. Now, I'm curious, I'm pushing in the clutch and hear how fast it spins. I almost want to see if I have any ether. I don't know if I have any starter fluid, but I'll see if I can find something. All right, I kind of killed the battery in the John Deere because apparently that battery is way too small. So I got the battery out of the Dart, and this thing does spin over a lot faster now. And I couldn't get it to really sputter. It was I can definitely hear life. The coil is working. So I hear life. It just needs the carburetor, and I'm hoping to have it today or tomorrow. And got a rebuild kit on the way, and I'll have it cleaned and ready. So I hear life in this motor. So before too long, it's going to be running. Well, I got my parts manual in, and the wiring diagram in here does confirm that the red wire goes on S, or solenoid, I believe, and the blue one goes on I. Let's see, should be a couple more pages. There it is. And this wiring diagram is for the single cylinder models, and this one is for the twin cylinder models. So look down here for solenoid. The top goes on S, the bottom goes on I. Top S, if you trace it back, it goes to the S position on the key switch. And the blue goes up to the resistor and then down to the coil. I also looked at the rectifier right here, and it's got the 2 wires going in from the alternator, from the built-in alternator, 2 wires going into the rectifier to each of the diode connections, and then you got power coming in through a fuse holder to the positive side of the rectifier. Weigh that down so it don't blow away. And I have done some work. I still need to solder. I still need to resolder these alternator wires, because they were really brittle and really about to come off anyway. So these do need to be resoldered, and I have marked with some tape which one goes to which, including down here. And I've changed from, still up here or not, yeah, I've changed from the glass fuse holder and all that cracking wire to a blade fuse. Now the glass fuse that I found around here, around the machine, was a 10 amp, and this is a 20 amp, so I'll probably change that to a 10. But I've resoldered, I've recrimped an eyelet down here where it's supposed to be connected, and got it running in line. I just need to crimp it right here. I'm just going to put some heat shrink tubing, with this still being part of the older wire. I'm going to put some heat shrink tubing on it just to make sure, if I just as a precaution, and resolder these, and then wiring going to the motor is complete. Now I did probably need to get a shorter cable for the starter going to the solenoid, but I've connected one of the cables I found, or that I got with the machine, bolted it to somewhere on the engine back here, and then used a self-tapping screw going to the frame. I don't know where the original one was, but this is going to work just fine. So to complete the motor wiring, all I need to do is just resolder these 2 wires on the rectifier and crimp that, and that's it. And let me connect my ground, and I'll show you. Put the key. This starter likes that battery a lot better. Wanted to show you one other thing. This is going to be my new fuel pump. This is a 2.5 to 4 psi fuel pump. From what I've been told, I believe this should be plenty for what I need. If I have starvation issues, which I don't think I will, but if I have any starvation issues, then I'll get one that's, I think the next step up is like a 5 to 9 psi. And then I'll get a fuel pressure regulator and then step it down. So that way it will, that way I can step it down to whatever I need it to, but this should be okay. Well, I was editing this video and realized I left something out. I've been talking to someone who is extremely knowledgeable with these Cushmans, and sent them some pictures of the what I have here, and the different tags and stuff that are on it. And come to find out, both him and I both agree that this is most likely closer to a 66 than it is a 68. Reason being, the rear end gear in this is actually a 443. And that was discontinued early on. And this motor has the capability of having an internal or external charging system. That was done during a transition period where they were doing either or, I think. So this being from the transition period, according to this guy I've been talking to, and having that early rear end gear, we're pretty confident that this is closer to a 66. So that's what I'm going to start calling it, is a 1966 Cushman Truckster. Well, there it is for this video. I've still need to resolder those wires. I'll get that done, and wiring going to the motor is now complete. And next step is going to be to taking this piece right here off, which means I have to disassemble this upper part right here. I've already sprayed it down with PB Blaster. I'll probably spray it down again. Oh yeah, look, I think that's the oil pressure light. But I'm gonna spray it down again so I can take this whole upper piece apart, because I need to get the shifter working right, because it's kind of frozen right now. So I need to take this apart, get it functioning right, take this off and take this off, so I can re-weld the pieces right there and use my body hammers to straighten up the metal down here that's all bent. But that's for another video. But there it is. If you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. The horn works.